All right, I'm going to move to a totally different story here. This one involves a guy named Mark Burns. And if you don't know Mark Burns, here's what you should do. Go on YouTube, look up CNN Mark Burns pastor, and you're going to find the greatest interview ever conducted. Because basically in 2016, Mark Burns was this black preacher who was all in on the Trump train. And so he would just go around telling everyone to vote for Donald Trump, which was not that easy to find at the time. And the reason I bring him up is that he recently posted on Facebook. I'm going to share this with you here. If you could check this out. He posted this on Facebook. It's really long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but check out the first few lines here. In response to the growing influence of the woke agenda in American public schools, I am proud to announce the upcoming establishment of Burns Military Christian Academy starting next school year. And I'm going to skip down to one more part here. Our school aims to instill good morals and a love of our country in our students while ensuring they are not exposed to LGBTQ, critical race theory, or woke teachings. Yeah, whatever. So he's going to open up a school, a military academy, and he's definitely not going to teach them anything that might be interesting. This is also interesting. Our curriculum will be based on the popular ABECA curriculum. If you don't know what ABECA is, it is a very popular Christian homeschooling curriculum that is notorious for misinformation, for dumbing down everything it teaches, and for the students who take it and who try to go on to a real college somewhere, they are not prepared for what college has in store for them. But that's what Mark Burns wants to teach. And I think this is the thing that really sold it. He has uniforms already picked out and a logo with a cross. I don't know. That looks very futuristic. He also says, by the way, somewhere in here, parents are supposed to wear the costume as well, to really show your dedication. The reason all of this is kind of hilarious, even though it's totally scary, is because the reason I want you to watch that interview on CNN is that in 2016, when Mark Burns was pushing all this stuff, he said on his church's website that he spent 6 years in the Army Reserve. Turns out that was a lie. He was like part of his state National Guard, which is fine, but he wasn't in the Army. He lied about it. And then he said he graduated from a college, and CNN contacted the college. And the college is like, that guy was here for like a semester. So he lied about his degree. And yet now he's opening a Christian military academy. Like, I've heard of stolen valor, but like this takes it to another level. And also for a guy who is called for the establishment of a theocracy, this is a guy who offered up like a biblical defense of Donald Trump whenever he did horrible things. He is also a guy who said teachers who educate and accept LGBTQ people, if you educate kids about them, they should be charged with treason and then executed. That's who Mark Burns is. Like, I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I feel like the best case scenario here, in order to protect the children, is that this place never opens up. But if it never opens up, it's possible he just tells everyone, I'm starting this school. I need you to give me money so I can start this school. And then maybe it never opens up and then he just keeps the money. I'm not saying he's going to do that. I am saying that if that's how this plays out, it totally wouldn't surprise me. The other option is he actually does open this place and it'll be a hot mess. But that's a thing that is supposedly happening. Mark Burns is opening up a military Christian academy. Because the two things you want in the same sentence are Christian and military. And I'm sure these kids are not going to learn about the Crusades. All right. What questions do we have? Military indoctrination daycare, more like. Absolutely. Scary stuff. That's what ABECA curriculum does too. Like, there's so many articles that have been written about those homeschooling uh, curricula, and they're always like, they don't teach science. They teach faulty science that's backed up with Jesus stuff. They teach David Barton-esque history. Like, they're doing kids a disservice, and the parents think they're educating their kids. They're not. And the fact that this guy, who is who's a notorious liar, is just moving forward with purposeful misinformation, that's scary stuff.